All right. Click this open. Make sure we're logged into Parallel Fighter. Join my own stream. I swear to God, I turned the volume down, but I guess I didn't. And wait for people to pull up. Perfect. Now we looking good. Now we looking like money. We looking like money. Kuribo is the first person to show up. Shout out to you, Kuribo. You are always one of the first people to show up. I don't know if by this time of the day you're always free. I don't know if you're waiting or expecting me to go live. But you always show up. Literally, you look like one of the first people to always show up. It's either you or Shinigami 9 times out of 10 times, Kuribo. So shout out to you for always showing up, bro. I appreciate that. Tay says, I hate Seth the Programmer. Yeah. Seth the Programmer and Noodles are actually the same person. Both got the same takes. Both had the same voice. Both had the same pretty much everything. Hey, what's going on, Grid? How you doing, bro? What's up, what's up, what's up? Where is my browser? Where is my browser? Bum ba dum bum ba. What's up, what's up? So before we get started, because we're probably going to be watching some more videos tonight. We're going to probably be watching some more videos tonight. But I thought I'd entertain this little conversation I'm having on Twitter with me, Kuribo, and some other person. Because if I remember correctly, I said last night something to the effect of Chakra, or no, not Chakra. I said something to the effect of like reiatsu actually having a physical impact on the world and, you know, it affecting people. And Kuribo wanted to show me that that does not just apply to Bleach. It actually applies to Naruto as well. Yeah, what's up, Grid? We just chatting right now. Until some more people get in here. We just yapping. Oh, that's right. We were talking about Chakra's ability to affect the environment, and it was really funny that a single crack appeared on the backside of the thing, of the ceiling or building that they're on. That was kind of funny that a single thing appeared. But Kuribo took it upon himself to point out other instances this happened and stuff like that. And my main thing with all this is that I think Chakra can cause these things, but my thing is that like you can count on your hand the number of times it happens, and it's very far and few between. And so we were kind of going over examples of these things. And he starts showing gifs and images of Kakashi using Chakra to clear away the mist. Although this is only anime exclusive and this never actually happens in the manga. We have Rock Lee using Chakra to go to the gates and have the effect he's having. I think that's fine. But the bigger thing was this creator, Cap and Cut, said that Chakra could be used to debilitate people, right? Make them weaker or make them more susceptible to something, you know, debuff basically. That's what he said. And I'm like, all right, I get the other things. I get environment, which even though I don't really agree with, it happens, right? I get environment and I can understand Chakra having an aura of itself. But debilitating, I'd need to see more evidence of that. Right? And so when I ask for said evidence of debilitation, let me go to his actually. Because you know me, I'm going to ask for the evidence of you saying you can debilitate people with Chakra. I'm going to ask for it. So I say, yeah, I was talking to Kuribo. He's an anime merchant. Can you show me 5 times that chakra debilitated someone? And so his first example is when Orochimaru, like, pseudo paralyzed, not even pseudo, he paralyzed Sasuke and Sakura. That's his first instance. But when you go to do the investigation on that instance, where is it at? I think it'll be here. This is the other one, actually. Let's go back. $12, $13, secret plan. Yeah. When you do the investigation on that instance, you see right here, right? Orochimaru starts to claw at his eyes. Sakura and Sasuke see this, and then they see the images of them getting killed, right? Sasuke thinks it's a genjutsu. Then he says, no, this is just fear. The killing intent in his eyes is causing us to see an image of death. The killing intent in his eyes. So it's very weird, and you got to watch out. Remember I was talking about yesterday, watching out for how people word things, like Seth the Programmer and Noodles, how they word things. You got to watch out for how people, even like this guy, word things. He said, and by flexing it, meaning your chakra, by flexing it, you can mentally debilitate people or cause physical destruction to your environment. And like I said, his first example of mental debilitation is this. When his chakra had nothing to do with that. Hold up, not trash. Yeah, his chakra had nothing to do with that. No, this is just fear. The killing intent in his eyes is causing us to see an image of death. And then we have Orochimaru even say, to injure his own body to ease the feeling of fear. To ease the feeling of fear with pain. His chakra isn't causing none of this stuff to happen. This isn't a chakra-based thing. This is killing intent. This is bloodlust causing fear. That's all that was. It's called paralysis jutsu. Exactly. Now, he never actually says paralysis jutsu here, Tay. He never says it, but it can be presumed, to be honest with you. It can be presumed. Nice, enjoy. Hey, yo. What's good, Shinigami? My boy. How you doing tonight, sir? So that's the first instance before we get into watching some videos tonight. That's the first instance. Then we have this one right here with the first Hokage, second Hokage. Now, I don't know about this one. This one's a little harder, right? Because we see the chakra is having an effect on Suigetsu. It's making him scared, but is it debilitating him? Is it taking away his strength? I guess you could argue fear does make you less strong. Like when you're afraid, you're less strong. Like, I guess you could argue it like that. But even this one is kind of hard to call. I wouldn't say his chakra is debilitating anyone here. Suigetsu's just acting like a pussy. Gonna wash the dishes and sleep. Got you, bro. Got you. Hey, what's good, Fireblade? We got Fireblade back into the building. What's up? What's up? And then we have this instance here, which he also never addressed. I have no idea how this could be used to indicate that chakra is debilitating anyone. These two get knocked back, and Sakura has been pussy since Madara showed himself. You know Tomiki Izumu. Tomiki Izumu. Izumi. Tomiki Izumi. I don't think so. I don't know who that is, Fireblade. Espada. What's good, bro? Shout out to the chat, getting in the chat. And then we have this instance here, which I actually didn't see in the original Boruto anime. But I can kind of count this one because Kurama is actually a beast of chakra. So if you want to say, oh, chakra is debilitating and Kurama is actually a chakra monster, I think that one's fair. But the rest of these are not any proofs of chakra being debilitating. This is fear hacks through presence. This is just being a scary ass person. I don't understand the Kaguya one at all. And yeah. So let's look at Kuribo's though. Because I think Kuribo had some as well. I don't remember exactly though. I know Kuribo made a comment. Kuribo said, oh yeah. So Kuribo says, Naruto anime took 3 months to complete. So how much will it take to complete the manga? Let me read that again. Naruto anime took 3 months to complete. So how much will it take to complete the manga? If it took you 3 months to complete the anime, if you're reading at least 9 chapters a day, I think there's like over 600 chapters of regular Naruto, and you have to consecrate the time out to actually read, comprehend, process, and analyze the information. It could take you, well, yeah, it depends on how much chapters you read a day. It depends, yeah, much less. Anime is full of filler. Oh, well, yeah, we got to factor that part in too. Did you watch all the filler, or did you kind of just stick to the main canon stuff? But no, either way, it should be shorter. Because the anime is mainly filling in screen time. So, Spot is correct about that. It should be shorter. Either way you cut it. So then, to my question when I said, show me 5 instances of debilitation with chakra, Kuribo says Sasuke gets hit with this a few times. The pressure of Kakashi and Zabuza's standoff. Okay, let's go check that one out. Because I do my homework. By now, y'all know I do my homework. So, we have Kakashi and Zabuza facing off. All right. Not this old ass one. Where was it? Yeah, there we go. So we have Kakashi and Zabuza facing off. Here is Kakashi. There's Zabuza. This is them facing off. Remind you, we're looking for chakra being debilitating. Sasuke says, this terrible bloodthirst. If I draw his attention by even blinking, he'll kill me. I can feel it. I can't stay like this for long. I'm going to lose it. So, again, we see this is just bloodthirst getting the better of young Sasuke, and actually not Zabuza or Kakashi's chakra having any effect on him. Because then the argument would be, well, if Sasuke is affected by their chakra, why isn't Naruto and the weaker Sakura affected by their chakra? Like, these are the questions you got to ask yourself when you posit and, put forth these claims. If you're going to say chakra can be used to debilitate, what it really is, this is an attempt for Naruto to get closer to Bleach in One Piece. This is an attempt for Naruto to get closer to Bleach in One Piece. Y'all want chakra to have the properties of haki and spiritual energy at the end of the day. That's the only reason a post like this exists. Just so y'all know, chakra aura is an actual thing in Naruto. What he really wanted to say was chakra pressure. That's what he wanted to say. And just by flexing it, you can mentally debilitate people or cause physical destruction to your environment. Where else have we actually seen that done? Because there's no debilitation going on in any of these scenes that we're looking at. Yeah, all of your examples are about bloodlust and being intimidated by other person's presence. What chapter is the Ino thing? Make sure to like the stream. Make sure to share the stream. We live. We lit right now. So yeah, there has been no true value for chakra being debilitating whatsoever. While it can cause fear, yes, it's not like sapping the strength out of anybody. It's not taking the life out of anybody unless a jutsu is accompanied with said chakra. Orochimaru hit Kakashi and Sasuke with it. Okay, cool. Let's go find that one real quick. Let's hunt for when Orochimaru tries to paralyze Kakashi. Because I guarantee for Kakashi, it's also going to be something similar to Bloodlust. It's going to be something similar to his presence. It's not going to have anything to do with Orochimaru's chakra. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't think I'm wrong on this. So this would be in between the Chunin exam second round, the Bridge of Heroes, All Out War, Sakura's Request, the Uchiha Blood, Kiba's Comeback, Neji Hinata, where's Sasuke? Yeah, should be around here. Right. Cool. He meets Kabuto. So that was volume 1088. Naruto's request. What about the training? Disciple application. Leaf and sound and sand. Each person's passion. Reason to exist. So the bird in the cage. That's when Neji comes. Main event commences. No. Proud failure. Reason to exist. Sudden intruder. I think it might be sudden intruder. Unless sudden intruder is Gaara. Yeah, Gaara is probably sudden intruder. The meeting. Let's try that. Because mind you, when these guys tell me things about the series, I'm all ears. It's just when I do my investigative perusal, nothing ever seems to be what they claimed it to be. Alright, leaf, sound, and sand. Okay, he's teaching Naruto. That bum Hayate dies. Alright, it can't be this much forward or back. It should be pretty close. When does he confront Orochimaru? I'm sorry, when does Orochimaru confront Kakashi? 3 months without fillers. Who's smarter, Nier or Shikamaru? Probably Nier. Yeah, probably Nier because of real world knowledge. Yeah. Remember when Naruto introduced Zanpakutos? Exactly. Naruto fans are so in denial and so envy of Bleach. Even their author knew that and gave Sasuke a sword. LOL. Exactly, bro. You can complete 7 deadly sins, Fairy Tail, and Black Clover. All 3 of them, including fillers, but still their total episodes are less than all of Naruto's without the fillers. Naruto fans envy Bleach fans so much. Facts. It's sad how the verse is so wanked to the point where you can't even scale it correctly and not start a war. Exactly. But hey, bro, that's what me going on TikTok is going to attempt to put an end to, or at least diffuse, stop the momentum of it at least. Because the amount of bad takes on TikTok is actually ridiculous. It's actually crazy. Makes no sense. Wait, come on, no. Where's the Sasuke? Where does Orochimaru confront Kakashi at, bro? Does he seal him right before the Chunin exams? I think he does. I think it's right before the Chunin exams. That's probably why I can't find it. Yeah, that's probably what it is. So it would be Uchiha Blood, Rivalry, Naruto's comeback, the 6th match announcement, Last Chance, Tragedy of the Sand, Trapped Like Rats, Hokage's Message. Let's try Uchiha Blood. Yes, we're looking for when Kakashi is messing with Sasuke's curse mark because you claimed Kakashi got intimidated by Orochimaru's chakra, so we're trying to see where that is. All right, it wasn't sealed yet. Good, it wasn't sealed yet. I'm stopping the fight here, and thus the winner of the first match is Sasuke. Cool. Hey, what's good, Kai? How you doing, bro? What's up, what's up, what's up? Oh my god, LOL. Kuribo, that's a jutsu which attacked Kakashi, not Aura. I remember what you're talking about. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Kuribo seems to think that chakra has a debilitating effect. Like this is Bleach or something like that. But we're going to see just actually. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, cool. Let's see. So yes, after Sasuke's match, Kakashi comes, hang in there, just a little longer. Yada yada yada. Evil sealing method. The next time the curse tries to become active, this new seal should contain the power. But, Sasuke, this new seal relies on the strength of your will. If you lose belief in yourself and your will weakens, the curse will become wild again. He's totally drained. Time to rest. So you can even use sealing jutsu now. You've grown, Kakashi. You are long time no see, Kakashi-kun. Orochimaru. I'm sorry I'm not here to see you, Kakashi. I'm here for the boy behind you. Why are you after Sasuke? Yada yada yada. Okay. That Sharingan is your left eye. I also want it, the Uchiha blood. What are your goals? The newly created Sound Village. That's my village. You should understand from just that. Foolish ambition. Well, yeah, something like that. And for that purpose, I need a lot of pieces. Right. Okay. If you get any closer to Sasuke, even though you are one of those three ninjas, right now I can at least compete with you. Is Kakashi out of his mind? Now, mind you, this is funny. I don't agree with none of this shit. But this is just crazy. He said, even though you are one of those three ninja, being the legendary Sannin, right now, I can at least compete with you. Well, you know, actually he can. Because, according to my own philosophy of Naruto, there's no such thing as a stronger ninja, only a better ninja. Stronger is actually a euphemism for ninjas, meaning just to be better than someone else. Alright, let's see. Ha ha ha. What's so funny? What you do, what you say, it's all off. What? That seal you did is meaningless. You understand to achieve a goal, the heart... I'm not reading all this stuff. Okay. Alright. He will eventually seek me out to seek the power. Also, you were going to kill me. Why don't you try? If you can, that is. Compete with him? Am I an idiot? So yeah, that's all that happened. Nothing happens after that? You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, Kuribo, why you be lying, bro? Kuribo. Look, and then he appears like ain't nothing happened, even though he was shitting himself. Like I said, bro, Kuribo, like I said, all the instances you named were of people being fear hacks because of bloodlust, not being debilitated because of chakra. That's not how it works. Let's go back just to make sure I ain't missed nothing. Also, you were going to kill me. Why don't you try? If you can, that is. Then Kakashi gets his, compete with him? Am I an idiot? And then it's over. Nothing about chakra. Nothing about debilitation or debilitation. God, man. Why can't we be honest, bro? Naruto has great things about Naruto. It doesn't have to be Bleach. Alright, let's see. It's a jutsu that's existed for a long time. From the age of the six pass. The age of the six pass. Oh, that's right. I have to go grocery shopping. Yada, yada, yada. Hee hee. Alright. You know. What is this? Incredibly sinister chakra. Okay. So yes, she shook over the chakra. Like maybe it's the definition of debilitated. When you say debilitated, are you saying that like are you saying the effects of like spiritual pressure happens or the effects of hockey happens? Is that what you mean by debilitated? Because people getting a little nervous over sensing someone's chakra, that's not debilitating. That's just them being scary. I mean, like, when spiritual pressure happens to Grimmjow, he physically gets weaker. He physically submits. When spiritual pressure happens to Nanao, she starts to fucking foam out the mouth. She starts to have a seizure. She starts to, like, have rabies and you know what I mean? When spiritual pressure happens, who else? When Yuha uses his spiritual pressure, he physically knocks people out. He physically makes people submit. When we go to One Piece, when Luffy is exuding his conqueror's haki, he physically knocks people out. He's not only debilitating them, he's having an actual effect on their bodies that's making them knock out from the force of his will. Like, your chakra examples are more people being afraid. That's the dime a dozen. Every series has that. If we're just talking about being afraid, every series has that. Like, even Hunter x Hunter does it better. Even Hunter x, because N is an actual force that can act upon you. Like, you know when Nove lost his hair from feeling P2's N? Or touching P2's N? That's even, like, bro. You gotta, like, we gotta stop lying. We gotta stop lying. Chakra doesn't do debilitating things. Can I give it interacting with the environment? Yes, but you can count on the amount. You can count on one number of hands how many times that happens. Aura clashing? Guys, he said, just so you know, chakra aura is an actual thing in Naruto. And by flexing it, you can mentally debilitate people or cause physical destruction. Why do we want Bleach? Why do we want Naruto to be Bleach? Let Naruto be great at the things it does great. I'm in the middle of getting some grub. That's what's up. Who is smarter, L or Kakashi? L. I don't even know why you asked that, Shinigami. You know L smarter. Is the one smart? Is the chakra and bloodlust stuff one and the same, or are they separate? Very good question. Hey, what's good, Michael? How you doing, bro? Nice to have you back. Nice to see you. What's up, nerds? I'm saying what I remember. Okay, my fault. Okay, and Kuribo, you know none of this is personal. I don't mean to call you a liar or anything like that. I know you're just kind of going off of memory and stuff, but like when you say things, it's my responsibility as a content creator to look these things up and do the actual due diligence. So like when you tell me these things, I presume you've already looked them up, and you're just kind of interpret it a different way. That's why I say lying or whatever, but. I don't think you're a liar. You know what I mean? I don't think you're a liar. Show him how spiritual pressure works. I can talk about it. I ain't about see like the thing is I don't even gotta do that at Spada. I don't even gotta do that. Because I can just fire it off the top of my dome. Because I already know. When Aizen passes by people, they vanish. Hold up. I think it was Revenant or Mugetsu. Do you know spiritual pressure can affect people from at least 13 miles away? Let's find it. Let's find it. I'll do that one. I don't mind doing that one. Cool. So it's here. It's when they first arrive. Maybe 390. Okay, not 390. That's way too close still. 378. Okay. 378. Like, nah, we're going to see this. Some hollows die from being 13 miles away from where the fight is just off of spiritual pressure. And we want to talk about chakra scaring people. Golly, man, I can't. 355. Okay, so this doesn't happen for a while then. Okay, 355. Let's go to 330. Cool. Holly Bell starts the fight. Toshido 330. We need right when they come out the Garganta. 318. Okay, cool. So they just got sealed basically. The heck yes. Ah, here we go. Guys, look at this. Kagamino City, 13 miles east of Karakura. And we know Karakura Town is the town they fight in, right? So we have Kagamino City, which is 13 miles due Karakura Town. Right? Explode. Gee. Die. Dead. Suffering. And what do we see over here? What do we see over here? What do we see over here? Just a group of strong people existing. Thank you, Kai. Chapter 316. Thank you, Kai. What do we see over here? 13 miles out the way. Just a group of strong people existing. Look, he literally explodes. Right? Then you see the spiritual pressure marking symbols. All that stuff, right? He's getting crushed. They're getting crushed. She feels it. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. Yeah, sorry if I'm screaming into the mic, but like, bro, there's a difference.
En Tropical
There's
Smoothie
levels.
Cafe ofrecemos smoothies con sabores frescos
What
que
is
te
talking?
hacen sentir bien por dentro y por fuera.
Oh, yeah, there's a difference, bro. There's levels. No one here has started fighting. These group of people are just existing. There's a difference. Let me catch up. When Ichigo felt Kenpachi's spiritual pressure. And you know what's crazy about that one? You know what's crazy about that one, John? When Ichigo felt Kenpachi's spiritual pressure, it had the added effect of giving off the bloodlust effect. So it's a 2-in-1 without Kenpachi even trying on his end. It's a 2-in-1 without him even trying. Boy, oh boy. I wasn't thinking about spiritual pressure or hockey, so they don't really matter to the conversation of chakra. The reason it matters to the conversation of chakra is because I believe when people like this post things, just so y'all know, chakra aura is an actual thing in Naruto. Like, why would you need to state that? And then say, by flexing it, you can mentally debilitate people or cause physical destruction to your... Like, why would you need to say that? If it was so true, why would you need to, just so y'all know... If it was so prevalent, why would we need a reminder of what it does? Like the undertone is, hey, in other verses and in other series, this is how energy, when you scale to it at least, actually works. This is how energy actually works. It can be used offensively by itself without it being a jutsu, without it being something special like a Getsuga Tencho. The energy itself can harm you just by proxy of it being around you. Chakra don't do that. Chakra don't do that. I don't know why we're playing like Chakra does that. So I understand you weren't talking about spiritual pressure or hockey, but I believe when posts like this are made, it's to have Naruto inclusion when there doesn't need to be an inclusion at this specific time. It just doesn't need to be there. Naruto does other things great. Let it do those things great. I don't understand why we need to be like Bleach, like One Piece. It just doesn't, I don't get it. Even better, even basic Conqueror's Haki can exude pressure on the surrounding environment, as seen with Shanks damaging the Moby Dick. Exactly. Conqueror's Haki is actually slept on. We haven't even talked about how crazy Conqueror's Haki gets when it comes to environmental destruction. It damn near rivals reiatsu in going Bankai. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It damn near rivals when people go Bankai. Like, you see the staticky aura of Haki messing up the environment. It damn near rivals someone activating a Bankai. And then the effects of it, we can say maybe to like the highest degree, Haki's not as strong, but it's definitely not too many echelons below the highest degree of spiritual pressure. It's definitely not too many echelons below that. Or Luffy and Doffy's Conquerors shaking the Royal Plateau. There you go. That's what an actual clash looks like. That's what clashing with energy is. Yo, I just watched the death battle One Smart told me about last night in its peak. Ooh. What's the death battle? What's the death battle, actually? We could probably watch that. The 13-kilometer reiatsu range only applies to high tiers like Yama and Aizen, though. Yeah. And even then, at that distance, it doesn't have feats better than vaping basic hollows. I can agree with that part. Now, when you say it only applies to Yama and Aizen, I don't know about. I don't know about that. Well, actually, wait. Where's the actual? Let me see. We can look at it. Let me see. See, I don't know, bro. The thing is this. It's a group of very powerful people all gathered together. And it doesn't show any one person causing this to happen. It doesn't show any one person causing this to happen. Like, it's literally just captains in Espada, which are just basically other captains. Right? And honestly, I don't even want to say that because Toshiro's reiatsu can at least cover 10 square miles. At a minimum, his reiatsu can cover 10 square miles. Swaying the edge down. They weren't even fighting yet, just looking at each other. Exactly. No fighting is going on at all. True. And you have Hanataro and Ganju fall to their knees, if I remember correctly. Exactly. Well, Hanataro gets like knocked out. He can't even stand to be near Kenpachi's presence. Ganju, being a Shiba, he actually can withstand it to some degree. So yeah. Ab-stract. I'd also like to debunk the statement only massive stat gaps can soul crush. But Grimmjow and Ichigo were relative, and his reiatsu gave Ichigo a headache. Let me think about that. Only massive stat gaps can soul crush. Only massive. Well, let me. Do you know the chapter for Ichigo versus Grimmjow? We can go to the beginning of that. Or when exactly does Ichigo get this headache? Because it would kind of have to hinge on that. And even then, Mugetsu, I don't know about that because on a consistency basis, we see like soul crush or spiritual pressure crushing having its best effect when there is a disparity between power. That's when we mainly see it. Been checking out clips from Devilman Crybaby. Honestly think Devilman by the end of the anime could beat Invincible. I've watched that anime. I didn't think he got that powerful. If he gets that powerful, that'd be kind of crazy. Not gonna lie, it was clearly all God made. Yeah. So it's a combined pressure feat. Yeah. So, but here's the thing. Even if you want to call it that, Kuribo, I have no issue with that. Yeah, let's call it a combined pressure feat. Here's the thing. These people just existing, these people just staring at each other caused, how many hollows were chasing this girl? 1, 2, 3? Yeah, caused 3 hollows to die just from chasing this girl. So yeah, you can call it whatever you want. I really don't care because the essence of the argument, because we're not going to act like none of these people here can't soul crush those hollows by themselves anyway. We're not going to be brain dead and do that, right? The point is, just them existing, looking at each other. No one has even taken a defensive stance yet. No one's drawn their sword. No one's battle ready, etc., etc. Yet their reiatsu is killing beings from 13 miles away. Was it kilometers or miles? Yeah, from 13 miles away. That's the overall point. I don't remember the exact chapter, but it was right when Grimjow released Pantera. I don't know if he got a headache from that. From what I remember, Ichigo was just noting that he released a shockwave. I don't know if he got a headache from that, though. And kind of still, like I said, though, bro, it would be more on the consistency basis. We would follow what's most accurate and consistent. We wouldn't take one instance of a relative character being susceptible to Soul Crush or some type of reiatsu negative side effect and say, oh, look, this can happen. No, we need more instances than one instance. We need like at least we need at least 3. I like 3. I like a minimum of 3 instances before I declare whether or not something is consistent or not consistent. Like Byakuya using Kido in his fights, extremely consistent. You can always argue Byakuya will use Kido. Even if he doesn't in a fight, you can always argue that he will use Kido because he's did it in more fights than not. Right? Mayuri always being prepared with his injections. You can argue he will always carry one of those things, except the time he didn't with Pernida. But in a standard versus assumption, or a standard battle assumption, you would always argue that, hey, Mayuri is going to have something to heal himself with. You can always argue he fights with Nemu. In every fight he's ever in, Nemu is present. The death battle is Gurren Lagann versus White Lantern, by the way. All right, we can check that out. I don't know much about Gurren Lagann, but we can check that out. The best feat of soul crushing between relative opponents, if I remember correctly, is when Gin flexes his and Ichigo is visibly exhausted from withstanding it. Is it? Does that happen? Okay, this must be where I'm reading it. Let me check that out. You said Gin flexes his reiatsu and Ichigo is visibly. Do you mean the first encounter or the second encounter? Reaching far doesn't mean anything if it doesn't have the necessary force. Huh? Oh, I didn't even read Mobley's Kai's response. Let me see. In this instance, you could argue that, but like he said, Toshiro's reiatsu reaches almost that long on its own. Facts. And in novels, Kenpachi's reiatsu grew so much, he's erasing the ground under him. Like I said, well, I don't use novels, but if you do accept novels, Kuribo, there you go too. And Kuribo's response to that was, reaching far doesn't mean anything if it doesn't have the necessary force. Well, no. Well, hold up. He was going to use an attack that was going to cover 10 square miles, meaning his reiatsu can at least reach that far. And reiatsu isn't based on, like, it's not a traveling attack. It's not something that's launched at you. It's if you're in its range, you'll be affected by it. That's how it works. Just like how Ichigo, Ganju, and Hinata felt like they were running forever and didn't get anywhere. That was Kenpachi's range of reiatsu. Like when Byakuya released his reiatsu and Ichigo and Yoruichi felt it from that far, that was the range of his reiatsu. It's not like, no, that's not how it works, bro. That's not how it works. The force will be there as long as you're within its distance. Anything better than that, you'd have to go to Spirits Are Farewell with You in Asishido. Get tricking fear hacks by Zaraki. Oh, getting fear hacks by Zaraki, Sion. Zaraki and Sion, despite being stronger. Okay. See, I don't even know that happened. What you're missing the point of is that it was 13 miles away. Spiritual pressure peters off massively at long ranges. I can't read that. The second encounter, I'm looking for the chapter. Give me a second. Gotcha, bro. Yeah, take your time. True, but in this instance it does. Like we admitted prior in the past lives, lieutenants and up have a seal to their power when living in the world. 80%, they're then unrestricted would amp the potency. That's true too. That's true too. So yeah. The force is definitely more intense the closer you are. Alright. Here's the thing with that. Let me ask you something. When Yami did Gunzui to the people and when he first got down there, are you saying that the people who were closer felt it more that their souls were being sucked out? Or did anyone in his effective range all feel the same thing because his power didn't drop off from being far? Because mind you, he was sucking souls from miles and miles away at the same potency because he was like, it's not like souls were struggling to leave their bodies. Everyone was being affected the same way, no matter the distance that they were. It wasn't, I'm closer to being outside of his range. I'm not getting affected by his soul sucking ability. No, everyone was getting affected by the soul sucking ability that couldn't resist it. So that's kind of how the spiritual pressure argument would work. If you're in its effective range, you're going to feel it no matter where you are. It should be the same force no matter where it is. It should be the same force. Nothing suggests that it would be weaker. If you can find me anything that would suggest it's weaker when you're further, I will take it into consideration and we can talk about it. But I haven't seen anything that would suggest your spiritual pressure gets weaker the further you are. There are too many examples. Even just sensing spiritual pressure from across dimensions would imply it's still the same strength of the energy that you're sensing. Rukia's spiritual pressure was suppressed by her prison cell and could still sense Zaraki fighting Ichigo. She was close enough to sense it, but the Hinataro was asleep and not sealed. That's a good point too. That is a good point too. She was surrounded by Seki, which blocks out spiritual energy and spiritual pressure, yet his was so damn strong it was getting through and she could sense it. Meaning, even though they were far away, Kenpachi's didn't even lose potency. Kenpachi's energy didn't even lose potency. It's in chapter 399, page 10. Okay, bet. I got you. No, I can't use this one. We'll use this one. $3.99. It's Friday night. Back in the late 16s. Wait. Okay. It's been a while since we fought. Do you remember the last time you came charging at me after I cut Jidambo's arm off? I remember thinking, what an interesting boy. I don't remember. Liar. Is that supposed to be an insult? No. It's not that I can't remember your sword. I just can't remember your heart. Usually, I understand the minds of guys that I fight. Now that I can read them exactly, I've just been able to sense why that person is fighting. Things like whether they look down on me or not. I'm not aware of it during the fight, but it usually comes to me afterward. The stronger my opponent is, the stronger I feel it. Oh, you're poetic. Shut up. I didn't get that from you. You may have been fighting me, but you weren't looking at me. I don't know what it is you were looking at. Shucks. I thought you were an interesting boy. Turns out you're just creepy. You should talk. Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. So, let me see. Okay. So here's the thing. I don't know if this is enough of a I don't know if this is enough of a example. Break it down to me, Grid. Now that I've looked at it again, it's not anywhere near as impressive as I thought initially. Okay. Ichigo just sweats a bit and maybe staggers. Might just be the SC effect lines. Yeah, that's kind of what it's looking like. Because, like, here's the thing. At this point, we have to realize that Ichigo has faced Byakuya's spiritual pressure, Kenpachi's spiritual pressure, Ukiyoda's spiritual pressure, Grimmjow's spiritual pressure, Noitora's spiritual pressure. You know what I mean? Yami fully released his spiritual pressure. Him sweating a little bit from Gin's makes sense, but he's not intimidated, right? He, like, look at his eyes. He, like, yes, it's like seeing someone strong. Like, if you guys fight or like have ever like boxed or spar, when you see someone strong, you're like, oh yeah, shit, that he kind of tough. He might be a hard night, but we still gonna dance. We still gonna get it in. I ain't backing down. That's kind of what this is. So while his spiritual pressure may be intimidating, it's not having a debilitating effect. It's not like killing him. So we can say that. The only one that resisted it as a normal human is Tatsuki. Exactly. And her resistance comes from the Hogyoku, so that's that. Exactly. Her resistance also comes from her just being around spiritually aware people. That actually awakens your own spiritual powers. So her resistance also comes from that as well. The soul sucking ability is different from the raw pressure. So, well, here's the thing, Kuribo. We already have instances of spiritual pressure working from very far away. So from you, I would need like a counter argument or a counter example of spiritual pressure being weaker the further away it was. Because we have Kenpachi versus Ichigo in their first encounter where he's literally running away and still feeling his spiritual pressure bear down on him no matter how far he runs away. We have the Hollows being killed from 13 miles out. We have Byakuya's spiritual pressure bearing down on Renji. They're like 50. They're like at least 50 to 100 meters away. Like, I'm not hearing any valid examples. By the way, I can't wait for you to see the death battle. Gurren Lagann has some insane feats. Let's get that charged up right now.
But Sasuke would in fact lead via scaling.
Examples like people only being hurt when Aizen got close, but his spiritual pressure could be felt from further away. Okay, so that's an extreme case. Number one, it sounds like you're talking about when he was sealed and the guy deliberately went to go touch him and his so first off, well, let's tackle them in order. Number one, when Aizen was in Karakura Town walking and people were getting close to him and their existence was getting erased, that was because the spiritual pressure that was coming off of him at that point was so potent that it would just kill you. This isn't him trying to kill you. This isn't him projecting his spiritual energy. That's just him existing, right? When you're talking about when he was in Muken, the technology that Mayuri designed was to keep his energy around his body. That's what it was designed for. Now we see in the anime and in the manga, he can project his energy outward, but then it got suppressed, right? So I don't know how that would be an example. But let me try and look at it a different way. You said examples like people only being hurt when Aizen got closer, but his spiritual pressure could still be felt from further away. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. So even then, though, because I think I get what you're saying. You're saying that there's still a difference in levels of potency of his spiritual pressure, which I can agree to. So, okay, I see what you're saying. So in Aizen's case, you're saying his potency when close is that it can erase you, kill you, whatever. Its potency when far, it's that it has the same effect everyone else's does. That's cool. Okay, I think I can agree with that. That would still, to me though, be an exception to the rule and not the rule though. Aizen is a very special case. That would be an exception to the rule and not the rule. Based on consistency, I would need like maybe two more examples like that to where we could say, well, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. And even in that though, your example would really only work for disintegrating people or like killing them outright by being in contact or causing physical harm by being in contact. Right? It wouldn't be a necessary thing to say, oh, well, all spiritual pressure is weaker the further it is away than the closer, because Aizen shows to kill people when you're close, but not when he's far. That wouldn't work across the board. It wouldn't work across the board because we know the foundations of the spiritual pressure, being the consistency, would dictate that it's as potent no matter how far you get, as long as you're in its effective range. That's what that conversation would dictate. Something that's always been weird to me is, why did Ichigo's eyes randomly stop getting silvery when he locks in? Honestly, I never noticed that. Glad I caught this stream. Congrats, big bro. How y'all doing? Hey, what's good, Ronin? My boy. We doing good, bro. We just yapping it up. We're about to get into watching some videos. That too. Aizen was definitely controlling his spiritual pressure to toy at the humans as well. Like, he even told bro, don't get close to me. Humans can't survive my spiritual energy. And he wasn't even trying to kill anybody. He literally warned you, hey, don't get too close. You will die. So Aizen is a extremely special case. I wouldn't even lump him in with everyone else. What did I miss? Not much. We just still going over it. Don't forget, you can control who you affect with your reiatsu as well. That's also true too. Remember that horse that Yuha was on that had more soul-based resistance than everyone else? Passive reiatsu soul crushes and actively flexing reiatsu to soul crush are two completely different ball games. That's true too. But hey, I'll give Kuribo the benefit of the doubt. I don't even mind conceding that Aizen's close proximity spiritual energy is different than his far proximity. I don't even mind conceding that. Because, like I said, Aizen is an exception to the rule. He does not make the rule, though. He is a very special case and a very special person, that Sasuke Aizen. Right? Like, yeah, no. Just like how Naruto's chakra can actually melt things, we wouldn't say, oh, look, Naruto's chakra can melt things, therefore all chakra can melt. We wouldn't do that. We'd just say, oh, well, the Nine-Tails is a very special case. It's a very prominent and very powerful tailed beast. It has the properties of melting things with its chakra, or disintegrating snakes. At least it didn't really melt anything else, but it disintegrated some snakes. So that's how we would kind of do it. People often overlook the fact that Bleach has two sensory systems. A Shinigami's reiatsu can be sensed by another Shinigami, and the Shinigami's reiatsu vibrations can reach other Shinigami. Exactly. And honestly, when you say two sensory systems, we're really talking about 12 sensory systems in total. You have your basic 6, right? Eyes, ears, or touch, tell, smell, taste, see, and then 6th sense. And then you actually have your spiritual senses, your Reikaku, Chikaku, talking via spiritual pressure, seeing via spiritual pressure, and then spirit ribbons. You know, you have all these other spiritual senses that go along with you being a spirit body already anyway. So that just heightens everything else that's going on with you. It's also worth mentioning that Aizen is literally built different. Thank you. Even though he stops using hollow abilities after losing to Ichigo, he still has the Hokyoku's immortality. Exactly. All right, cool. We're going to get into this video. I don't know if we're going to finish it. In fact, we might just skim through it and see the actual fight, because I want to get into actual scaling videos of content creators. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me get my Boy, oh boy, y'all. I went live on TikTok today, but I didn't realize that TikTok wants you to have like a certain amount of days you go live, and you have to go live for 30 hours before you can invite guests up and stuff. Because I tried to do that Genjutsu working cross verse, but they wouldn't let me invite any guests up. So I was like, yo, why would TikTok make it like this? This is so dumb. So dumb. All right. Ichigo realized that Aizen wanted to lose deep down, and the Hogyoku didn't actually stop seeing him as a master. True. I'd say just go through Simon's analysis and skip White Lanterns because DC scaling is weird and boring. You know, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen a death battle. Let me see if they've changed anything, if they've improved anything, or if they're just like still kind of weird.
At US Cellular Prepaid, we know other provider services can hit you with hidden penalties. With our plans, you're always in control. Not only do they start at just $25, but you could also get a free device like the Samsung Galaxy A16 5G. We're proud to offer.
All right, so real quick before we get started, how is the volume for everybody? Is it too loud? Is it too low? Do we want me to turn it up? How are we feeling about the volume before we get started? And while we're doing that, I'll read some comments. Simon has insane feats. Okay, we're going to see. What's your least favorite bad faith criticism of Bleach's writing? What is my least favorite bad faith criticism? The volume's good. Good. Sounds good for me. Wonderful. Let me think about that real quick. Least favorite bad faith criticism. Alright, so that's kind of worded weird. That's kind of worded weirdly for me. What is my least favorite bad faith criticism of Bleach's writing? My least favorite bad faith criticism. That's kind of hard. I don't know if I have a favorite bad faith criticism. I definitely don't have a least favorite. You know what? You know what? That's tough, bro. That's a tough question for me because in the conversations I have with people, it's never really geared towards Bleach's writing. It's never really geared towards that. And I have my opinion on, all of the big three creators as creators and their writing. And I appreciate them all for different things. I feel like Kishimoto found the best way to capitalize on integrating and bringing in the fold for younger people and teens. Not to say that adults can't watch Naruto, but let me cook, right? Kishimoto found a way to, capture the generation. My generation, the 1990s kids to the 2000s, kind of like you know what I mean? He found a way to captivate that entire generation with ninja. Ninja were cool. Hand signs were cool. Kubo found a way to well, no. I'll give Kubo a different thing. What Kubo does really well is the realism that lies within Bleach. Bleach is a very realistic show. Like, the main character is not going around saying believe it. He's not having hopes and dreams of saving everyone. He's not having like fanciful ideas and things. He's a very based person that wants to do based things, right? Ichigo's first day on the job as a Soul Reaper, he's like, yo, I'm not saving everyone. I don't agree to this. And he had to be forced into that role, right? Rukia put him in a position that's like, hey, yo, you're going to save everyone or you're not going to save anyone. And even then, Ichigo was like, I'll make that decision on my time. He still is like, yo, nah, right? Where Oda does really, really good. Oda does really, really good. And there's actually a One Piece video that I plan on making about Skypiea. Oda does really, really good in combining both of the aspects I love from Bleach and Naruto. So Oda's really good at the really corny anime tropes where your character does something goofy and he keeps doing something goofy or says something goofy. He's really good at that, but he's also really good at going in depth, right? He's really good at adding esoteric meanings, symbols, and things of the like in that nature. I don't know about better than Kubo, because Kubo's ridiculous. But yeah, it's kind of hard for me to judge from a writing standpoint a criticism, because most of my conversations are really based around power scaling. And then, like I said, I kind of have my own opinion when it comes to all three of them as writers. I was actually talking on live, and real quick, not to drag this out, I was talking to someone on live today, and they're like, oh, the cycle of hatred of Naruto is so underrated. And I'm like, no, it's not. That's not the cycle of hatred is the Bloods and the Crips. What? The cycle of hatred is apartheid. The cycle of hatred is everyday struggle for the average person. Yes, if you want to give Kishimoto credit for putting it into words, putting it on black and white, sure. But that idea isn't a new phenomenon. It's not a novelty idea, the cycle of hatred. It's something that persists IRL very prevalently. He just put words to it. That's fine. But I don't think anyone was blown away by the cycle of hatred. The speech was nice. Pain's speech was nice. That was beautiful. That's one of my favorite speeches. That's fire. But the cycle of hatred as an idea, bro? No. That's literally life. That's not new. When we get into Bleach, and I was telling him this too. When we get into Bleach, right? We don't know who the good guys are. We don't know who the bad guys are. Because from our hero's perspective, the good guys want a status quo of pain, suffering, death, and a never-ending cycle of that, right? But then from the perspective of our MC, the bad guys want to change that status quo to where everything is oneness, to where there is no suffering, there is no death, there is no none of this stuff. And so it's like, yo, hold up. Whole time, they really the ops. And they're trying to protect this system of death, of pain, of suffering, of sorrow. And Yuha feels this. And he wants to go against the grain. Now, mind you, are his methods the best? No. Does he care who he steps on? No, but that's all a part of his character. You gotta crack a few eggs to make an omelet type stuff. We get it. And then there's even more aspects of it, because while Kubo knows how to tell a great story, he also knows how to mix elements of esotericism in there. I'm not even going to say I doubt. If you're not familiar with Freemasonry, you probably don't know that Kubo's implementing some of those aspects in Bleach. If you're not familiar with Baphomet, if you're not familiar with, what's it called, bro? What's it called? Oh my God. If you're not familiar with the Caduceus, if you're not familiar with all these things, you would never know. It's in the story. And Oda does the same thing. I can't wait to do a video on Skypiea. Oda does the same thing. It gets deep. It gets nasty. So yeah, and let me go back to Naruto real quick. Because where Naruto really hit me, as a kid at least, where Naruto really hit me was its impact. It played with my emotions. So does One Piece. And I'm actually finding out Oda is actually more of an emotional merchant than Kishimoto ever was. Oda likes to really play on your heartstrings. Oda is actually annoying with that. Oda will fake kill every character, then bring them back. The only one he didn't bring back was Ace, and I hate him for that. But Oda will fake kill every important character in every arc that you start to like someone, then he'll bring them back. Like Igaram, I thought Igaram was dead, he came back. Pell the Falcon, I thought he was dead, he came back. You know what I mean? But Naruto was really good for certain themes, like hard work beats talent. I think that like it's kind of basic, but it's still cool. It's still cool. Like Rock Lee's whole story actually was dope. I'm not going. Hey, y'all got me yapping about this. I'm gonna keep going. Let me calm down. Kubo also broke the mold of a shonen protag in addition to making the best drip still to this day in anime history. That's a fact. Kubo also wanted Ichigo to be voiced by a male character. I'm not really a fan of females voicing male characters. Don't ask me why. I'm really just not a fan of it. I don't like it. Like, I get to make fun of your MC because he's voiced by a female. Like, stop it. If Ichigo was real, he'd pull up on Blood territory in a dark blue Cadillac with number 1 blaring on the sound solo or the sound system and get to get that whole block. Like shit. Luffy's final punishment, you know, while oh my gosh. Hey Michael, chill, bro. Chill. I broke it down to twin, bro. There's so like what Kubo did. I'm sorry, what Oda did with Skypiea. Shit, man. What Oda did with Skypiea was a masterpiece. From a writing standpoint, from an esoteric standpoint. And when I break it down, it might not be appreciated because most people don't delve into that world of secret, of occult, of esoteric, of, you know, covert stuff. Most people don't delve into that world anymore. But I am a huge advocate for, you know, knowledge, philosophy, all that kind of stuff. I love it. I can't get enough of it. So when I see it in someone's writing, my antennas go up like, oh, hold up. Hold up. So they have to climb the giant beanstalk. The beanstalk kind of represents the caduceus making the double helix pattern. They travel on the road of milk and honey. I ain't giving y'all any more. I ain't giving y'all any more. But when I see stuff like that, my antennas go up and say, "Oh, he cooking. He know what he's talking about. He's studying some stuff because there's no way it can be a coincidence. There's no way it can line up just to how it was written in the text, in the work. It just can't happen." Ab-stract, let me ask you this. Is Ichigo Crip or Blood? Personally, I think he's Crip. Is he Crip or Blood? Crip is community resistance in progress. Blood should be brotherly love overcomes something destruction. Ichigo probably would be Blood. I think he'd be a Blood. It's a funny question though, because blue a saucer color in my opinion. Oh, a saucier color. Not for Ichigo, it's not. Red is definitely a saucy color for Ichigo. Kubo has a multifaceted style. He incorporates Western comic writing styles with the Eastern style, like Ichigo not having any selfish goal is a Spider-Man/Superman style main character. True. And then Kubo doesn't get enough credit for integrating, 5 different cultural aspects into his story. We have English. I'm sorry, no. We have Japanese. We have Spanish, we have German. We haven't gotten to French yet, but I'm pretty sure it's coming up, right? And then the ethnic backgrounds of all the characters. We have white people, we have black people, we have Asians. You know what I mean? He makes a really great melting pot. Kishimoto's execution of theme is elite. I'll give you that. No, absolutely. Kishimoto knows how to drive a theme home and make it important and impactful. He knows how to make it important and impactful. By the way, it annoys me how criticism on Bleach is just questions that have answers. Am I crazy for criticizing Madara? No. I hated Kinemon's ass pull of a fake death. Kinemon. Oh, I didn't even know Kinemon fake died. I'm guessing that happens during Kaido. Hard work beats talent was not the theme. Are you talking about of Rock Lee? Hard work beats talent was not the theme? Because that was Rock Lee's whole. That was his whole ideology. That if he works hard, he can overcome a genius like Neji. Do you mean that wasn't the theme of Naruto versus Neji? Or do you mean like Rock Lee? Because that's Rock Lee's whole thing. Paguya somehow coming back from a near miss of lightning strike from me now is still funny. If that's that girl's dad, yeah, like I thought he died. He came back. It was funny as hell. My favorite One Piece arc is Eni's Lobby because it has the strongest character in the big three, Sage King. Like shit. I'm on Eni's Lobby right now because I'm rewatching the series. Eni's Lobby is funny. It's really funny. I can't wait to get the Thriller Bark though. One of the worst takes. You can skip Skypiea. It doesn't add much to the larger story. Whoever said whoever said you can skip Skypiea has no idea what they're talking about. Skypiea was so peak. Skypiea was funny. It was peak. It was action filled. It did a lot for the scaling. It was good. Legendaries say Sage King is the only one whose son Wukong still enjoys fighting post achieving Nirvana. That's fire. Eminem is always a fun character in any story he's featured in for real. Enel and Iruk are some of the dopest characters ever, lol. Enel and Iruk. It sounds like you're talking about from the Epics of Gilgamesh. Or Iruk is actually the place from the Epics of Gilgamesh. Also, so many manga give all black people the same skin tone. Kubo actively gives his people of color characters different tones. That's true. Askin is French. Askin is French, isn't he? Café de la Chill. Askin is French. That's hilarious. Burn the Rich is English, so yeah. By the way, going to sleep soon. Good night, y'all. Hey, take it easy, Shinigami. Thank you for coming, bro. The racist Bleach fans will uproar if you say Yoruichi is black. To them, she's anything else but black. They just started admitting Halle Bell is black. Whoa. What did we think Yoruichi was if not black? I'm so confused. Lily Barrow should be French, I think. Okay. That's interesting. Kai mentioning racist Bleach fans, but the series is so diverse. He's talking about Kai Mobley. Luffy just rolling up to pick up a fight with hundreds of Marines and taking the absolute boost out of them and inconveniencing Spadman all the way is so good. Like, for example, Halle Bell is light skinned, but Jackie is black. Like Don Cheeto black. Okay, I kind of see what you're saying. You've heard people say Yoruichi is Indian? Okay. Huh. Indian. Indian? I mean, okay. Is Oetsu Dominican now? Like, we know Zamari's an African American. Zamari actually might be an African. Like, he actually might be an African. Just based on his features. Like, you know. Yoruichi has absolutely always looked more so Eastern Asian to me. Really? Interesting. That's interesting. Okay. Maybe black people jumped the gun on that one too much. Maybe we thought Yoruichi was automatically included. Let me see. Maybe that's our fault. She always looked fictional to me. Good answer. Good answer. But I don't think it's a problem to call out a racial bias on this one, only because Kubo does play on that. Like, he has people from all different races and ethnic groups, so I don't think it's even a problem to say that. Eastern Asian. Eastern Asian. See, but here's the thing. And this isn't like to Because it really depends on how much you guys know about history. Black people have been all over the planet, literally. Black people have all been all over the planet. There were black Europeans, there were black Romans, there were black Asians, there were black, pretty much everything. This isn't to say a racial dominance thing or anything like that. I'm just pointing out the facts as they are. But okay, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Eastern Asian. I'd have to see. I think Yoruichi is supposed to be West Asian, the dark-skinned Asians, but I've always considered her black. She always looked facial. I've even heard them say that because the primordial world was a thing, race doesn't exist for the Shinigami. Because the primordial world is a thing, race doesn't exist? I don't know how we would get to that conclusion. I gotta talk to some of these people. Hey Kai, where you be finding these guys at, yo? Yoruichi's more sub-Saharan, like Egyptian princess. Her whole Shihoan clan has that style. Just look at the recent artwork of her ancestor from the original Gotei 13. You know what? I'll say this. The fact that... See, but let's look at him compared to Oetsu. Because ain't no debate. Oetsu is definitely a nigga. So, we know that one for a fact. And so, here's the thing. When we look at Oetsu's hair, Kubo actually does go out his way to make it kinky. Like, this is actually kinky hair with a fade. So, with that as an example... I think, you know what? I'm not even mad actually at that. That actually makes sense. Yoruichi and her bloodline actually might be more sub-Saharan or might be more Asiatic. That might be true. I'm not mad at that. Okay, cool. I'm not mad at that at all. I think that's fair. Excuse me. She's what they'd call olive-colored black. Olive-colored back in the day. Yeah, okay. Which chapter Tobirama raises a finger happens. Good question. I don't know. That'd be a question for Kuribo, hopefully. Also, have you ever thought it's weird how in the manga Tosen's dreads are black, but the anime makes them purple? No, I didn't think it was weird at all. I thought it was dope. I thought it was a nice touch. I thought it was very cool. I thought it was a nice touch. Me, personally, whether Yoruichi is canonically black or not, I still love her all the same. Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. That's not going to change. Yoruichi, boy, oh boy. Though the racists say they're tired of black people claiming dark-skinned characters. All right. So then the question for me would be, are these people of black descent themselves, or are they brown people? Like, what ethnicity is saying they're tired of black people claiming dark characters? It's kind of a weird, race doesn't exist for Shinigami. I don't know, man. Oetsu 100% black. He got the shades on with the clean fade and the puffer jacket. Come on, bro. Aladdin type ninja, facts. You can find some of them under videos about the original English VA for Yoruichi and the whole ditching her for a black woman controversy. See, but like, even with that, I don't care who voices them. Just do the character justice. I love the original Yoruichi's voice. I like the original Rukia's voice. I like Johnny Young Bosch's voice for pretty much any character he does because he really knows how to bring them to life. I'm a simple white guy from America. Don't ask me to judge race. You good, John. I got you, bro. What's the anime version, but the manga didn't have all that destruction? Oh, that's the anime version. Let me see. Did it not? Because, like I said, these people are really slick, and they'll only post stuff that benefits them. So, we can see the visible cracks and stuff, at the very least. So that's something. But I really don't remember what the I don't remember how the anime portrayed it. We know what race is saying that, LOL. Nah, hey Red though. Hey, what's good, Red? We don't know because if people are tired of black people claiming darker characters, what would be the beef? Like, to me, that could only come from someone that is like of brown skin. Oh yeah, okay. Kai says brown skin people. Yeah, Ichibe is black. I would claim Ichibe. I don't know. It's hard. But all right, let me get into this scaling video, or this Simon the Digger versus Kyle Rayner. Let's get into this video real quickly. Let's make sure the volume's on again. All right.
Simon the Digger,
Kyle Rayner, the White Lantern.
two men born of Earth with the willpower to pierce the heavens and conquer infinity.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Deep underground, Jiha Village lived in dreary isolation, oblivious to the wider world above their squalid cave.
That's where the hero of our story comes in. The young man who would lead his comrades into the sunlight at last. Kamina, the great and mighty. Oh, and his little brother from another mother, Simon. He was there too, I guess.
Simon was a digger, content to drill endlessly through the dirt, until the day he found the core drill.
A key that activated the mysterious buried mech that Kamina named Lagann. Under his magnificently masculine leadership, Kamina finally drilled their way to freedom, seeing the sun after a life in the dark.
But the sky was by no means the limit. The surface was ruled by the cruel chimeric beastmen, and Kamina would lead his compatriots against them to reclaim the Earth for humanity, scoring a second mech in the process, aptly named Gurren.
And as befits Kamina and Simon's unbreakable brotherly bond, Gurren and Lagann merged, creating Gurren Lagann.
With Kamina piloting the body and Simon the head, these two were unstoppable.
Of all the giant fighting robots in all the animes across history, Gurren Lagann might just be the absolute coolest, fueled by its pilot's willpower and capable of making any weapon they can imagine.
Including missiles, a jetpack, a sunglasses boomerang, and of course,
Drills! Wrist-mounted.
Oh wow, that's actually kind of fly. I didn't know that. So it's the machine or the mech is powered by their will, and they can create any weapon that they happen to imagine. That's dope.
Drills, kunai drills, shield drills, kamehameha drills, and everyone's favorite, the Giga Drill Bureku! Side note, it is so funny that the only thing they could think of was drills. That's like if I made booze or something, my whole personality. What up?
with Gurren Lagann's awesome power, Kamina laid waste to enemy forces, liberated human villages, and fomented a rebellion against the Beastmen King, Lord Genome.
Until Kamina died. Oh, wait, shit, was that supposed to happen?
Nope, and it was all Simon's fault. He let his willpower waver, and his soul brother paid the price. After all, he was just a humble digger, at home in the darkness, guided solely by the light of Kamina's spirit.
So his big bro left him with these final words. Have faith in the Simon who believes in you. Damn.
Kamina was the one looking up to him the whole time. It was Simon who found Lagann, Simon who pierced the surface, and Simon who would now lead humanity to victory.
Especially with his gal pal Nia at his side, who helped pull him out of his rut and kick Lord Genome's ass. But victory only lasted 7 years before the anti-spiral attacked.
Unimaginably powerful godlike aliens, the anti-spiral feared humanity's potential, what they dubbed the spiral nemesis.
Remember how Gurren Lagann runs on fighting spirit? Turns out that's just a manifestation of spiral power, an energy that all spiral beings, like humans, have. That's right, the laws of physics run on chutzpah.
Just as the spiral turned inward represents endless obsession and madness, the spiral turned outward spins forever into infinity, the perfect representation of humanity's evolutionary potential.
Potential Simon would use as he led Team Dai Gurren across the multiverse to take the fight to the anti-spiral. And this is when Gurren Lagann gets crazy.
Hey, Mugetsu, laugh my ass off at that comment about reading the fake Katakuta manga. That's hilarious. I never noticed that. That's funny. Dragon Ball gets a lot of battlers. Oh, Death Battle gets a lot of battles wrong, like Gar versus Toph. Ben 10 versus Hal Jordan. But they get a lot of outcomes right. Sanji versus Lee and Naruto versus Ichigo. Ayo Red, you a troll. You are a fucking troll, bro. Naruto versus Ichigo. You better stop playing. You better stop playing. Kunai level. What? Stop. How y'all feel about this game? Real quick. Hey, this Rift game. How y'all feel about this? It looks cool, but I don't know. It looked cool, but I feel like people are going to abandon this game fast. You know what's crazy though, Red? As I'm watching, and Michael, this is his fault, Michael. I ain't even want to bring none of this stuff up. I'm watching One Piece. Zoro can't even cut steel still. We're at Ennie's lobby, and this boy can't even confidently cut steel still. What is he doing? Chaos Edge, Spirit of the Wrath, has entered the chat. Oh, okay, we're back. Hold up. What's good, Chaos? How you doing, bro? Toph would kick Gar's ass, in my opinion. In my honest opinion, no offense. Would Toph beat Gaara? That's a tough one. I don't feel like thinking about it right now. You said they got Ben 10 versus Hal wrong, and Naruto versus Ichigo right. Damn. I think at the time Naruto vs. Ichigo came out, the outcome was correct, as the scaling metas for both series at the time were completely different than they are now. God, man. See, no, if you're looking at the series, if you're looking at both series objectively, at no point does Naruto scale higher than Ichigo. At no point does that verse scale higher than the Bleach verse. It's not, no. Not unless you're using disingenuous scaling, not unless you're taking every word from the data book as true, despite it having no evidence behind it, then you can maybe say that. What thick store deal did Zoro cut? And it has to be when he cut it. Because where I'm at right now, he hasn't cut through steel on a consistent effort or a consistent basis. Yes, he beat Mr. One, but after that, every time he's attempted to cut steel and needed to cut it, he can't do it consistently. He has to pull everything out of his ass and more just to do it, and then he can't consistently do it. Zoro was able to destroy Hachi's blades as far as back as Arlong Park. I'm pretty sure Daz's steel body, Shore's Ironclad sword, and CP9's body should be stronger than the real world. So, no, Michael. No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. I'm going to tell you why we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because Zoro specifically states how difficult it is for him to cut steel. Not anything stronger than steel. There was no statement, there was no suggestion that Mr. One is stronger than steel at all. You can say devil fruits evolve with the person and all this other stuff, but when we find out that Mr. One is only steel level, I'm sorry, that's what it is. And you know your shit, Michael. Yes, he had a hard time cutting the Cloud Guy's sword or bypassing that thing. And that thing was about as hard as steel. Kenpachi said he had to imagine himself cutting something harder than steel to cut Grammy. We've been over this. We've been over this about 50 times. Steel? Anything stronger than it. Literally could be anything. So I'm sorry, that doesn't work, bro. It's not the comeback that you think it is. It's not the comeback that you think it is. Excuse me. And guess what? Big Mom's body was compared to be as hard as steel, and they couldn't penetrate that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Y'all better play with someone nice. Toph versus Gar is close when they're young, but as adults, Gar absolutely destroys Toph. I don't even feel like thinking about that. The adult Toph would kick his ass, though, in my opinion, no disrespect. Hey, Chaos, you good, bro? We don't gotta say no disrespect. We good. We adults here, bro. This stream is for fun. This stream is for other people's opinions. This stream is for sometimes going at Kuribo. Let me stop. But nah, this stream is completely for fun, bro. I disagree with people all the time. People disagree with me all the time. I've disagreed with Mugetsu, Revenant, Espada. I'm pretty sure I've disagreed with. I've disagreed with Michael before. They've all disagreed with me. We all laugh. We all have fun. You don't gotta say no disrespect. We get it. We cool in here, bro. You definitely lying to bait. Leave that. Hey, yo. I ain't baiting nothing. Zoro has not cut Steel definitively yet. In any attempt to say he's strong, any attempt to say those people were stronger than Steel is just false. Nothing suggests that they're stronger than actual Steel, because the whole thing is that he can't cut Steel. Not something harder than Steel. He can't cut Steel. Toph has stated multiple times to be the strongest earthbender in the world. In some comic ATLA, earthbenders have ludicrous feats that put Toph way above Gar simply for scaling above them in lore. I don't know, man. Daz was pulling off some pretty insane cutting feats that I don't think real Steel would hold up doing. Though this is just off recollecting Galaxy Sage's calc. I don't know. Who is Daz, bro? Let me see. See, we're not going to finish this video. I'm not going to lie. We're probably not going to finish this video. But I'm always down for entertaining these trolling conversations. Let's see. Daz. One Piece. Oh, Daz is Mr. One. Why don't you just say, hey, bro, just say Mr. One. I don't know his name. Come on, Michael. I don't know his name. All right. Now you said Daz was pulling off some pretty insane cutting feats that I don't think regular Steel. So here's the thing, though. You had it's regular Steel with his strength and his force behind it. So it's still going to scale to what it is as long as it can do it. And mind you, yes, he might have been pulling off feats, but what he is made out of is still just basic Steel, because that's all Zoro had to overcome. Only person he hasn't disagreed with. Oh, yeah. Actually, you know what? Kai is the only person I think that I've not disagreed with. Me and him have kind of been here since he started being in the lives. I don't think I've ever disagreed with Kai. Yeah, because I've even disagreed with Shinigami before now I think about it. That's hilarious, though. All right, the consistency of metal in One Piece is really bad. One moment ninjas is cutting battleships in half. Other times they can't even scratch steel. True. Daz Bones is Mr. Q, Mr. One. I got you. I know his name. No, you don't, Tonti. Stop it. As a matter of fact, Naruto versus Avatar is way more fair than comparing Naruto to Bleach. See, if we're being honest and genuine right now, I'll say this. In Naruto, you have your top tiers, your high tiers, and your middle tiers, right? The top tiers would be all 6-path characters and above, and anyone that can compete with them. Anyone below that is high tiers. That's your Kage and below, right? The high tiers of Naruto, their fairest fights are going to come from people in Jujutsu Kaisen and Hunter x Hunter. I'm not lying to you guys. Because the AP disparity isn't that crazy. From Jujutsu Kaisen, Hunter x Hunter to Naruto. It's not that crazy. You have people in Naruto that can definitely one-shot, but you have people in Hunter x Hunter and JJK that can one-shot people in Naruto. It's not that crazy. He's not made of steel. His body is as strong as steel. Oh, no. He should be made of steel. He should be made of steel. What? He ate... He should be made of steel. What do you mean? Hold up. Yes, Daz Bones from One Piece has a body that is made of steel, or more specifically, a blade like steel, thanks to the super Nomi. A devil fruit that allows him to turn parts of his body into sharp metal or sharp steel blades. This makes his body exceptionally hard and resistant to normal sword attacks. Okay, then we have this. Daz ate the Super Nomi Paramesa type fruit that allows him to turn any part of his body into sharp steel blades. Okay. Okay. Made of steel versus turning into sharp steel blades. Okay. It's funny how the video watching streams always get stun locked. They do, bro. They do. I'm so sorry about that too. Y'all just be having good conversations, honestly. It's really y'all fault. Y'all be having good conversations and I want to join in. I haven't been around long enough yet. Oh, yeah, no, that's true. That's true, John. Yeah, John. Yeah, that's true. I'm pretty sure we might... Well, no, I'm not pretty sure. I'm not going to say I'm pretty sure we might disagree on something. But, you know, stick around long enough. You'll probably say something I disagree with, or I might say something you disagree with. And it's no big deal. It's all, you know, mutual love and respect. One Smart is more broken than ninjutsu. Wait, hold up. Kuribo, bending is more broken than ninjutsu in its application. Oh, bending is more broken. Okay. It's funny. Okay, yeah. Hashball needed hacks to cut a bum like Songdu, who said he was iron, laughed my ass off. This is top tier of the verse versus a high tier. Okay. So that's actually a name fallacy, red hair. That's that, like, people bring up name fallacy and don't really know how to use it. That's actually a name fallacy. Just like how sonido means sound and therefore, okay, speed of sound. No, it's just called sonido. Him saying his shrift is the iron doesn't imply that his body is only as tough as iron. I shouldn't really have to explain this to you, redhead, but since we're trolling, I'm going to do it anyway. So we've seen people already, like, for example, Kenpachi's first feat with his eye patch off cut through multiple layers of building. We've seen Gin in his Bankai slice up an entire town, which in pure volume and density would be more than steel, would be more than iron, right? So it's funny that you're saying it, but it's really not backed by anything because we have better feats from weaker people doing things that already include that. Nice try. It didn't work. Zoro still can't cut steel. The ball is in your court. Also, Luffy, I'm not even going to get into that because Michael said I have to actually read the anime. But guess what, Michael? Also, well, no, yeah, we're not going to get into it. It's okay. Aang would be Kage level, but I don't know if he's competing with anything in the 4th grade Ninja War, though. So what would hurt the Avatar verse is the speed. But then again, they can react to lightning in Avatar. Yeah, Zuko reacted to lightning. His father shot lightning at him. And Iroh reacted to lightning. They can react to actually lightning. Actually, it might be close. It actually might be close. I'm not going to lie. Shoot, let's lock in for the death battle. I got you. We're going to get back to it. Name fallacy, LOL. Yeah, damn right a name fallacy. You don't know what you're talking about. Absolutely name fallacy, sir. Yes, sir. It is a name fallacy, right? Songdu the Iron is not only as tough as iron. That's ludicrous because we've seen way stronger people cut more volume and more denser material. Kenpachi doesn't cut through Grammy because Grammy made his body of literally steel. Kenny, after, why didn't you just tell me? I would have swung with enough force to cleave steel. Even if you want to take that, even if you want to take that as true, that's literally Kenpachi saying, I'm swinging casually at you. Why didn't you tell me you made yourself this hard so I could swing a little bit harder? Exactly, Ab-stract. Dragon Ball, Bleach, Avatar, Naruto, Jujutsu Kaisen equals Hunter x Hunter somewhat. Dragon Ball equals Bleach. Facts. Which is stronger than Avatar. Avatar, which is stronger than Naruto. Naruto, which is stronger than JJK, but equals Hunter x Hunter somewhat. I agree. I agree with that. Aang is energy bending, which is light. Ooh. Aang has energy bending, which is light. I don't even want to get into that conversation. Because I don't, there's a lot, yeah, I don't want to get into that. Mugetsu is proving my point. It's a funny thing to think he's proving your point, but he's not really proving your point today. Lightning is like early Naruto flexing, not in Shippuden. Lightning is like early Naruto flexing. Yeah, and it doesn't even happen in Shippuden. And then when you actually review the feat, it's not actually that crazy. Ronin bending is my favorite power system, but it can't compete with the power of ninjutsu. I think it can definitely compete. Even in episode 1, Aang's avatar state has a light speed feat. Hey, Ronin, chill. We ain't doing that. Only trolling for this, as the golden Skyfear should be much tougher than its real world counterparts. But Zoro couldn't even cut through Enel's gold staff versus Luffy fragmenting a 5 to 6 meter wide ball of it. Yeah, no, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Also, you do understand that there's different levels of steel. So same grace you give Bumdu. Alright, hold up. Hey, Red, you're conflating. No, I'm not giving Songdu any grace. I said what you're doing with that is a name fallacy, first off. Zoro, should we go to the panel? Zoro couldn't cut steel. He literally says, I'm not able to cut steel yet. I have to be able to cut steel on command. He still can't cut steel. Where am I? Annie's lobby. Anyways, that's hilarious though. Bumdu, Zoro gets the same grace. No name fallacy, sir. No, it's absolutely a name fallacy. Because Zoro literally states multiple times he can't cut steel. Songdu the Iron is just an epithet. It's not a representation of his actual durability. That wouldn't make any sense. Alright, I'm going to get back to the video or else we're going to be yapping all night. Let's do it.
Adapt to threats, no matter how overwhelming. Simon can create portals to different realities and higher dimensions. He can generate force fields, absorb energy attacks, and even merge Gurren Lagann with bigger and stronger machines.
Creating the Arc Gurren Lagann, which is strong enough to shatter space and time with a punch.
Or the Super Galaxy Gurren Lagann, which can fire lasers that are fast enough to hit, and I quote, all time, space, and dimensions, all within a Planck instant.
That's the smallest unit of time physically possible.
Meaning each laser would have to be moving 4.6 times 10 to the 117th power.
All right, no. I'm not letting you get away with that. I know you don't like the thought of Kenny not being able to cut steel until that time, but come on, my guy. Just cut his first meteor in half in the final war of the series. All right, here's what we're not going to do. First off, let's talk about Zoro's meteor cutting feat. First off, Zoro didn't even cut through his meteor entirely. First off, that's number one. Number two, when he cut it, guess what? He only cut it. Zoro didn't do anything more than just cut. Hold up, we're not doing that. We're not going to do this. I will not have Kenny be disrespected. Let's look at this. First off, he's going high diff with a blind man. That's number one. Let's see if we can spot the difference here. Hold up. Look at that shot first off. Look. That meteor doesn't even cover half of the island, first off. So it's not even a big meteor. It's not even a big meteor, number one. Oh, look. Oh, look. Hold up. So, first off, it wasn't even going to destroy this island. Look at this. It's not that big. Number one, it's not even that big. Number two, look at him. He's disappointed in himself. Daddy had to clean up his own meteor for him. And he did it off screen. Daddy had to clean up his own meteor for him, and he did it off screen. So let's burn this image in our minds. Did Zoro cut the meteor? Yes. Zoro did cut the meteor, right? Now let's go look at this. Let's look at this. Hold up. Why is he smiling? First off. Why is Kenpachi thrilled at the thought? Why is his eye patch class? Hey class, can anyone tell me the difference in between Zoro cutting his meteor and Kenpachi cutting his meteor? Class, can anyone tell me the difference? Cause Tay and Red, they want to play with me tonight. They want to play games tonight. Class, can anyone tell me the difference in the Zoro meteor in the meteor Zoro cut versus the meteor Kenpachi cut? I'll wait. Am I frozen? Oh no, I'm not frozen. Yeah. Can anyone tell me the difference? I will wait. By the way, that's from a movie. Never happened. Oh, it's from a movie. Now it's from a movie and it never happened. Okay, cool. Then take away the feet too. You do know Fujitora drops meteors that are roughly 60 meters, right? He dropped a meteor on the Sunny, and the Sunny is 56 meters. So that meteor Zoro cut isn't small, lol. It was smaller than the island, which is smaller than the Sedete, which is smaller than the meteor Grammy drop. Also, Ichide Zanzen Daisen Zekai is Zoro's ultimate move at the time. Can he pulverize the much bigger meteor with a normal one-handed slash? Ooh. Didn't Kenpachi need Shikai to cut a meteor? So what? Why would that matter? His eye patch was still on, wasn't it? Therefore, not at full power. That's not a small meteor, I laughed my ass off. It was smaller than the island, which is smaller than the Sedete, which is smaller than the Grammy meteor. Boat level meteor. Crazy work. Yeah. Papa Hawk casually while Kenny needed Shikai. So now we want to stick up for Mihawk. Alright, let's see if anyone's got an answer. Ooh, hold up. Let's read Tay's answer first. The difference is Kenpachi needed a power-up. So, sir, Zoro used Haki. That's a power-up. Kai says in a single swing. This is correct. Red says Kenny was aura farming and Zoro can cut it. A meteor that could be 60 meters in size. And you're frozen like Hashfault was when he couldn't cut Bozo do. Am I frozen? I hope I'm not frozen. Oh, I am frozen. Unless my thing is just paused. I don't know if I'm frozen. I should be. Kai also says, didn't Zoro need to coat his swords and armor in hockey? True. Maybe Sedate like Small City. I don't know. It's not a planet or anything. LOL. Alright. Zoro hockeyed up and used his ultimate technique. Kenpachi still had another level of evolution that Yachiru could just open the box and drop. All true. But here's the big difference between these two feats. Zoro was only able to cut his meteor. Using hockey, that is. Kenpachi... Oh, I'm not frozen. I was making a joke. Okay, cool. Kenpachi... The difference is Zoro was able to cut his meteor. Only able to cut it. In half, that is. Kenpachi not only cut it in half, guys. Let's turn off the sound so I can talk. Kenpachi not only bisects it in half, but the force at which he cut it. Do you know how much force he would have had to attack that meteor with to cause it to explode? See, this is the difference between busting something and just cutting something. Zoro didn't bust his meteor. If Kenpachi and Zoro were to clash, I fully expect in Shikai, Kenpachi would cleave through Zoro and all his swords at the same time. Because at the end of the day, Zoro can only cut a meteor. And not even in enough chunks to where it's not dangerous. Kenpachi busts the entire meteor in a single attack. That is the difference. That is the difference. I don't even care that Zoro used Haki. I don't even care that they used Shikai. I just want to look at the outcomes of the meteors. We can talk about that stuff to make fun at each of them however we want to. Fine. But I want to look at the outcomes. What did you do when you cut yours? Oh, you needed to pop a Mihawk to come in and clean up for you. And then even Mihawk was only doing half the work because the meteor was already in half. So he's not much better. He's better than Zoro, but he ain't much better. The difference is in AP. The difference is in AP. Kenpachi would fully cleave through Zoro in anything he had in front of him. Because he completely destroyed the meteor with that attack. Damn, Kenny Enderseers is needed to beat movie Zoro bet. Hey, Red, let you tell it. That feat didn't even happen. That feat didn't even happen. And guess what? Zoro doesn't have an on-screen better feat than that. Show me it. Show me an on-screen better. Show me a manga feat better than that what Zoro did in the movie. Show me that. Kenpachi is clearly way stronger than Zoro. It's literally a coughing baby versus a hydrogen bomb type shit. That's irrelevant, Mugetsu, because you can overwrite the previous owner. Also, Zoro's swords are fancy special high-grade blades in lore. Kenny's sword is just a random Asayuchi looted off a corpse. Well, I wouldn't say that because, you know, Kenny's sword becomes with his soul imprinted on it. So I wouldn't do the random Asayuchi thing. Sasuke did the same thing Zoro did. The remaining lead ninja finished the rest. Exactly. Even when we talk about Sasuke's, and Kuribo hates me talking about Sasuke's because Sasuke's, he destroys it with a large-ass AoE. I have a video on it. I have a video on it.
May 30th.
Why?
Because Peacock is the
What's good,
only
Revenant?
dog man.
Red and Tay decided to talk shit
Because
about
that's the only
Kenpachi not being able to cut steel. So I had to flame them. Me, Kai, and Mugetsu had to flame them about them not being able to cut steel. And Chaos. Take a look at both of these feats and decide which one is more impressive. First up, Sasuke. We see that Sasuke has to first do a large AoE attack covering the surface of the meteor before it can be destroyed. Then we have Kenpachi, who just goes in raw dog, all well, we first see that Chidori has to travel across. Y'all see all that lightning? Y'all see all that lightning covering the meteor? I'm sorry, this is a half of a meteor that Lee and them already destroyed. So he's not even destroying something honestly that impressive. But you see all that lightning? The entire meteor for Sasuke to be able to destroy it because he does not have the potency in his hand to destroy the meteor by itself. Why is this less impressive? Because when you're using a large area like that to destroy something like that, it takes away from the overall AP of the actual attack. It would have been much more impressive if Sasuke used a single Chidori in his hand and did the same results, right? Do we understand why that is necessarily true? Do we understand that the focused energy of a Chidori, not spreading across the meteor, but piercing it head on, do we understand why that's more impressive than the lightning covering the surface of the meteor? You guys have been with me for a long time now, so you should understand why that's more impressive. Pachi, although his sword has gotten slightly bigger, it's not much bigger than himself. He's holding that much power in a smaller point, and he completely destroyed it. Not to mention Sasuke was only cutting half of a meteor. And if you're asking me, Kenpachi's was bigger than that because it was supposed to destroy the Serete. Theirs looked like it could have wiped out their whole village. The Serete is obviously bigger than the village. I shouldn't have to tell you guys that. I hope we don't think that the Serete is smaller than the Leaf Village. Oh, hold up. Not Tay, Gas, and Kuribo. Hold up. Only way Zoro scales higher than Kenny's meteor feat is upscaling alongside Luffy's AP. That would actually, that'd be true. That would be true. But even then, Michael, we're still only judging Kenpachi just getting his Shikai eye patch on. A single slice he did that though too. Right? This isn't even getting into Gerard scaling and Bankai scaling and all that stuff. Sasuke dusted him part completely. That after Lee's group only dusted half. Sasuke was the finisher. Yeah, that's true. Sasuke was the finisher. He had to clean up. But it still made his job easier. Dude, at this point, Avatar, Naruto, and One Piece, throwing the towel, people, it's over. Also, look at the heat wave caused by Kenny's slash. Zoro's slash didn't show that tier of air friction. That's true, too. Show me Zoro tank and a sword swing to the chest. Then we can talk triple AP scaling. Oh, you know what? That's actually a good point, too. Because as I'm starting to watch One Piece again, I'm still noticing things like bullets can hurt people like Sanji and Zoro despite them showing AP much higher than bullets. I'm still noticing bullets and stuff are a threat to them. It can still hurt them. Of course, Luffy doesn't have to dodge them, but they can still be hurt by bullets. Maybe I should do a One Piece durability video. Maybe I should do the secret. What did I title the Naruto video? I don't remember. But maybe I should do a One Piece durability video. Sasuke with the AoE of his hand, that's the meteor. Kenpachi could never. Ha 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 ha. Talk, Kuribo. You don't even know what you're taking up for, Tay. See, and it's like, y'all see how crazy this is? I break down, and you can clearly see on the screen that it's physical lightning covering the entirety of the meteor. Kuribo is going to say Sasuke with the AoE of his fucking hand. Let me ask you something. Is that his hand right there? Is all that lightning his hand? Or is that lightning from his hand? Because that wouldn't then be the AoE of his hand. That would be the AoE of the lightning from his hand. You see how crazy it is? See, Tay's going to say, ha ha ha, talk, Kuribo, gassing, wrong, misinformation. It was a single Chidori in his hand. I agree. He attacks the meteor, all the energy spreads over the entire meteor's surface, and that's what causes the destruction. That's what causes the destruction of that meteor. Can we lock in and go back to the death battle? This debate kind of get cut and dry. We going get there. Let me catch up and I got you. That half was bigger than Grimmy's meteor. Yo, you're absolutely insane if you think that little half was bigger than the fucking Serete. Oh my god, I can't work with Kuribo. If you go at some early panels, the Serete does unintentionally come across as being small in scale. Yeah, I agree with that. It depends on what panels you're pulling from and looking at. It depends on what panels you're pulling from and looking at. But it's absolutely, at a bare minimum, it would be like large. At a bare minimum, it would be large city level. At a bare minimum. And the Elite Village isn't even close to large city level. The Elite Village is like very small city level. It's a very compacted village. It's not that big. Like, people in Bleach could flash step from one side of the village to the other in mere seconds. Because you have Ichibei doing 4,000 kilometers in mere seconds. A casual sword swing, and y'all are comparing Chidori. Come on, bro. Low-key Zoro was stronger than Luffy for most of East Blue. That's why the entire East Blue arc, Oda kept nerfing Zoro constantly, injuries, broken swords, etc. There's an argument to be made for that. Ronin, the chakra nature with an elemental advantage against Earth at that. Ooh, I didn't even consider that. Lightning gets stronger than Earth. Due to One Piece durability, just make sure you watch the whole series. You're funny as shit. Meteors excite Kenpachi, but Sasuke thought he was Piccolo by the way he casually handling it. Sasuke casually handed a smaller meteor with way more AoE. Yes, that's what happened. Yeah, fresh and blood humans can't be shot or something, lol. Well, see, Red, the thing is, Zoro and Sanji, their AP would suggest that they shouldn't be hurt by bullets anymore. But then we'll also have people like Whitebeard being injured by bullets. Right? We'll have people like Whitebeard being injured by bullets. So it kind of goes against itself to say, hey, Zoro is mountain level, but he's also being shot by a bullet. He still has to actively dodge bullets. Right? And here's where the trick play comes in. Because we know regular Marines aren't coating their bullets in hockey. We know they're not doing that. So that would mean their bullets are scaling to their physical bodies. That's a problem. That is a problem. Right? When we go to Bleach, right, we see Gremmy uses reiatsu to make his guns, which they would scale to his power. When we see Robert Akutron shoot Shunsui, his bullets would scale to his power. When we see Stark use his Setos, his would scale to his power. The fact that we have random Marines running around with swords and guns being able to hurt Sanji, Whitebeard, and Zoro is a problem. That's a problem. Hockey compensates for durability. There are very few natural durability monsters like Kaido and Big Mom. See, but even with that, Ronin, here's the thing. I've seen Zoro survive more, but when it comes to bullets and stuff, it just gets kind of weird. Like, him and Sanji have survived a decent amount of damage. Things way higher than what would be bullet level. Maybe total joules, but maybe not AP. Maybe AP is the problem. Bro, homeless Sasuke using his change bargain, one hand casually destroyed the meteor while Kenny ran happy knowing he had to use Shikai. So how do you feel about Zoro using Haki and still only being able to cut it and it not even doing anything significant to it? Going by Whiskey Peak, Luffy and Zoro would have been equal through East Blue in their best conditions. After that, Luffy pretty solidly gets stronger than Zoro. Didn't Shanks get his arm munched by a big fish? Yeah, he did. Izo dies to being fingered. I hated that shit. Are you talking about finger pistol? Alright, I'm going to catch up to this, then we're going to start the video. Imagine if the Marines could coat their bullets, their pellets, and cannonballs in armament hockey. Not going to lie, that kind of nasty and something I'd like to see happen. I thought that was already happening, but it turns out it's not. Goku in Dragon Ball Z was bruised by a bullet, just like when he was a kid. I dare you to do a durability video for Dragon Ball. See, here's the issue. Here's the issue you're going to run into. And you know what? I might take you up on that challenge. If I do a durability video for Dragon Ball Z, here's exactly how it's going to go. We're going to find instances in the series when people are not utilizing their energy system to enhance their bodies and when they are. And I'm going to delineate between that. I'm going to make it very clear. Right? And you're going to be disappointed because it's still going to have the effect that Bleach characters have with reiatsu. When it's being actively used, it does scale to them. They do scale to their attacks. Does this mean their max power Kamehamehas can't be stronger? No, that's not what that means. But for the most part, they'll be able to tank their own attacks. They'll be able to survive attacks of that magnitude with their bare bodies. Right? Your examples of using bullets and lasers hurting these people is when they're not utilizing ki control. The only difference is in Dragon Ball Z, we actually know this is a thing. If we want to go back to Naruto and say, well, oh, he wasn't using chakra control to strengthen his body. Stop right there. Show me where chakra control is stated, suggested, or shown to strengthen someone's body. That's what you would have to do. You would have to get it from the manga too. We would have to get it from the manga. We're not going anywhere else. We're first going to establish this happens in the manga, and then we can start talking about other sources or not. Because if it doesn't happen in the manga, and even if it's not something everyone does in the verse, or if it's not something most people even do in the verse, you'd be having one-off instances of specific people being able to do it. That's not the verse being able to do it. Just like how I don't hold the whole verse coats all of their weapons in chakra. That's not real. That never happens. It would not behoove someone who is not good at chakra control to coat their fucking sword in chakra. It just wouldn't make sense. Why would you do that when you could just put it towards a lightning style jutsu, a water style jutsu, a substitution of genjutsu? Not everyone fights like that. So that's what would happen if I did a Dragon Ball Z video. But I actually might have to do a One Piece video. That actually might be funny. Alright, damn it. I keep trying to catch up. The god tiers of Bleach were going die to fall damage. That was Uryu's big plan to beat the Guidebook. Shit. First off, I want to unpack that. Even if that were the case, dying or being injured by fall distance from fall damage from, well, first off, no, let's debunk that right now. First off, Ichigo came flying head first from the Royal Palace at Mach speeds. He did not stop. He was absolutely fine. Stop it. Kensei, Rose, Master Masculine, Shunsui all get knocked in the buildings, fall from hundreds of feet, and are absolutely fine. I don't know why you even would say that. That wasn't Uryu's plan, by the way. He was going to blow up the castle and have it like fall on them and bury them and all that other stuff. And whatever else he was going to do. We don't actually know the full plan because he never got to finish the full plan. So that's also incorrect. But no, please stop. Yeah, show me cannonballs wiping out large countries. The fish ain't even bother eating the rest of Shanks because Shanks was flavorless like Chinese chicken. Weapons in One Piece are normal. What you're referring to is not a normal gun, Red. Yeah, show me cannonballs wiping out large countries, LO. Nah, sure, we got you pressed. You good now. Lock in the video. Those aren't normal either. It literally called a buster call, not a cannonball, LO. They are literally island-busting weaponry. If characters demonstrate greater AP with their physicals, and especially if they demonstrate durability beyond normal human limits, i.e. Zoro being able to withstand stomp strikes from Lucci, I'm guessing, who could crater the ground, fragment a cliffside, is it reasonable to assume that any weapons that can hurt them simply scale higher than their real-world counterpart parts? So here's the thing. If the weapons were introduced after the fact, yes, I would give it to you. The problem is rifles in One Piece have been a consistent thing within the series, right? Meaning they don't change. Even up until now, correct me if I'm wrong, the rifles haven't changed. What they shoot doesn't change. The only thing that would change is if the user was using hockey, like how I presume Ben Beckman would use hockey on his guns, because why would he be shooting a regular pistol? So, if the weapons were introduced after all these feats, then yes. The fact that they're introduced before, oh, you're not talking about Lucci, you're talking about the cat guy, Bucci. That's hilarious. Okay, my fault. I thought you were talking about Lucci. From Sarah, got you. If the weapons were introduced before, it's a harder way to argue that, Michael, because the consistency scaling of having to keep dodging them only gets more worse because as they're getting stronger, they still have to dodge bullets. They still have to evade bullets. They still have to block bullets. Right? If it came afterward, it'd be like, all right, cool. I can survive X amount of force or joules. We have these new weapons that are hurting these people that can survive X amount of force. So therefore, these weapons would actually scale to what they can survive now. But the fact that they're introduced at the beginning of the series hurts it, not gonna lie. But all right, let's go. Yeah. Oh shit, I skipped. I didn't mean that.
Calculated speed feat in our show's history. Congratulations, Gurren Lagann.
Move over, SpongeBob. You've been dethroned. Oh, and the guidebook says they hit an innumerable number of enemies across infinite universes. You literally cannot calculate how fast that is.
But it wasn't enough to escape the anti-spiral's greatest trap, the multiverse labyrinth. An attack that imprisons Simon in his own unique multiverse, forced to experience an infinite number of alternate realities that controlled his mind, permanently arresting him in a dream world.
Except Simon and his spiral power are just built different, and after being inspired by his bro, Simon absorbed that whole multiverse to escape.
What makes this even more impressive is that this labyrinth was 11-dimensional, meaning Simon absorbed a higher dimensional structure several orders of infinity greater than himself. The jump between dimensions is basically infinite. Each new dimension adds a new direction of space that extends infinitely, thus an infinite gap in size and scope.
What?
Oh, we're just getting started. Imagine a two-dimensional drawing interacting with a three-dimensional person.
Okay. That's not too far off from what actually happened.
Because when Simon absorbed the multiverse labyrinth, he merged with every alternate universe version of himself, including an alternate universe Simon who is writing his own alternate universe version of Gurren Lagann. And that author's spiral power made his fictional Simon real, adding another to the mix.
Wait, if every human being has spiral power, you're telling me we can all do this shit?
This all gave our Simone enough spiral power to form the next step in mecha evolution, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
This is when Gurren Lagann gets actually fucking crazy. Like shooting missiles that alter probability so they have a 100% chance of hitting you, or tossing galaxies around like frisbees. Sorry, did I say galaxies? I meant universes.
Simon's power was so immense that he started generating.
Alright, I don't even know what a Green Lantern could do against this shit. I don't know why they have Hal Jordan here. They better be pulling from some comic book stuff that he does, and it's better be crazy. I think I've heard enough of their scaling, though, to conclude. Let me see what he can do.
Erase things from existence.
Think we're exaggerating? Well, consider the time Kyle stretched the very fabric of space to increase the Planck length a billion times over. That's like stretching an inch into a light year.
Lanterns control time and space, letting them fly so fast they can create a Speed Force singularity.
Tapping into the Speed Force requires entering a higher dimension of space, requiring speeds that are not only faster than light, but totally immeasurable. And the rings have an artificial intelligence that operates just as fast, automatically protecting its user from danger.
Like the time that Poozer Kilowog survived being erased from existence by
Like, why would they need more than one lantern if the ring can... Never mind, man.
the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
The ring is fueled by its user's willpower and limited only by their imagination.
While Hal may have had the greatest willpower in the Corps, Kyle's imagination is unmatched, probably because he's a comic book artist. And we know from this show, they think of some wild shit.
But the Green Lantern's most recognizable ability is their constructs, Kyle's speciality.
Samurai armor, pirate ships, giant dragons, actual working home computers, and his favorite, super fighting robots. Hey, that one looks familiar.
Kyle can make them strong enough to lift the Spectre, who weighs as much as eternity.
Or hold back a 12.3 dimensional Big Bang. Wait, 0.3? DC's multiverse has 12.3 dimensions? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
The ring's only downside is that it's limited to 24 hours before needing a recharge.
So it can blow up universes, but it has the battery of an iPhone. Never mind, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
So the ring has very finite power, being only able to be active for 24 hours, but it can do things on a limitless scale, on an unlimited scale. That's so... I don't like it.
Although I'd say Kyle's biggest weakness was Kyle. With great power came no responsibility.
Perhaps a manifestation of Kyle's self-doubt. Any reflection came too late, though, when one of Kyle's villains brutally murdered his girlfriend, Alex, and put her body in a fridge.
Kyle wasn't the only one traumatized. This moment was so infamous, it started the trope called fridging.
For how female characters are often sacrificed as mere plot devices to further a male character's development.
So it might surprise you that it happened to Kyle again.
Kyle finally got serious. He became a prominent member of the Justice League, faced off against Hal, and even rebuilt the Green Lantern Corps better than ever.
But little did he know, this torchbearer's greatest journey had only just begun.
In order to save Ganthet from an emotional lobotomy, it's a long story, he had to master all the colors of the emotional electromagnetic spectrum.
There are 7 colors, each representing a different emotion. The yellow light of fear lets Kyle manipulate the worst horrors in your mind. The more scared you are of him, the stronger he becomes.
Orange light is fueled by bottomless avarice, possessing Kyle to absorb not merely his enemies' attacks, but also their souls.
Red is rage, ripping out Kyle's heart and replacing his blood with napalm, which sounds like it sucks, but it's metal as hell.
Blue light is powered by hope and allows Kyle to heal wounds, resist mental domination, and supercharge his ring.
Indigo is compassion, reducing his opponent's will to fight and letting him open portals across space, connecting him to others.
The final one was the sapphire light of love. With it, he can trap enemies within crystal matrices and control their minds. But Kyle only mastered it by forgiving himself for Alex's tragic death.
Oh, self-love. I get it. Must be nice.
Alright, the Lantern Core is kind of deep. I knew about the color rings, but I didn't know they went that deep.
And with their powers combined, he doesn't just make his enemies taste the rainbow.
The lights of the spectrum merged and Kyle became a White Lantern with total control over the power of life.
Wiz, I cannot think of an attack more useless in a death battle than something that makes you live.
Empowered by the physical embodiment of all life in the DC multiverse, Kyle is vastly more powerful than any other Lantern in existence.
Far stronger than Hal, who could harness the energy of every power battery across the multiverse.
Not only can Kyle instantly heal all wounds, purify corruption, and resurrect the dead, the white light of life is strong enough to go up against threats to all of creation, like the Anti-Monitor.
Okay, so it's not totally useless.
Especially after Kyle visited the Source and acquired the Life Equation. Essentially the source code to reality, the Life Equation is mathematical proof that life is worth living.
With it, Kyle can alter all of reality at a whim, even threatening the new gods like Darkseid.
The Life Equation, like its counterpart, the Anti-Life Equation, is a conceptual artifact from a higher reality, originating in a platonic realm that is, in a sense, more real than we are.
So it's not a shock that the equation made Kyle too powerful.
He struggled to control it, and it subconsciously manifested a being composed of his fears and anxieties. Oblivion. Kyle's greatest weakness was still himself.
Kyle spent his whole life struggling with the power that the gods granted him, and throughout it all, he always rose to the occasion, carrying the universe on his back.
But ultimately, the only way to stop power from corrupting is to spread it. So Kyle split the Life Equation into pieces to found his second core, the White Lanterns. And together, they shattered Oblivion, destroying the self-doubt that plagued Kyle once and for all.
Not bad for a comic book geek from LA.
And now he was the one giving out rings of unlimited power to people who weren't sure if they could command it.
So he told them the truth. You can't teach someone how to use such power. You have to learn yourself, making mistakes along the way.
But with the power of life at their command, there's no end to their journey, only endless beginnings. Hey,
Okay, so White Lanterns are definitely OP in their own right too. I don't know, Gurren Lagoon. I don't know. That like they're both too OP for me, honestly. They're both way too OP for me.
remember Beerus versus Sailor Galaxia? No? Well, that's because it was taken off YouTube for being too anime. But we've got a solution. It's our own website. That's www.deathbattle.gg. It's like our own private Patreon, with a store for Death Battle merch and a complete Death Battle video archive. It's got episodes that YouTube has banned, blocked, and censored, and there's even more goodies on the way. So check out deathbattle.gg live right now. All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
All right, I'm not rusty at all.
Hey dude, Green Lantern Officer Kyle Rayner here. Ring says you've got a Class A galactic super weapon, whatever that is. I'm thinking it's the giant mech. Why don't you hand it over?
Gurren Lagann's mine, officer. Just who the hell do you think you are? I'm told I'm bad with authority.
Tell me about it. 4!
4? That's nothing! My drill will pierce the heavens! Take it to Gurren Lagann!
Alright, this is progressing very fast.
I'm a lantern.
We do the impossible.
See the invisible.
Touch the untouchable.
Break the unbreakable.
If you ain't know,
Now you know. I'm Simone the Digger. If there's a wall in my way, I'll smash it down!
Stop fighting. Think about your fear of death, your love of your friends, your compassion for me, your hope for the future. Choose life.
Have faith in the Simone that believes in you.
Super Tekken Topa Gurren Lagann! My drill is the drill that will transcend the heavens! Giga Drill Break!
What? Oh, that's kind of hard.
the super weapon wasn't your mech.
It was me.
Then, Simone, I'm taking you in brightest day, in blackest night. No evil shall escape my sight.
That's a
Let
nice
those
twist.
who
I like
worship
that.
evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern fly!
That's fire.
Let's see you grit those teeth!
You'd make a good lantern.
Simon of Earth, you have been chosen.
Just who the hell do you think I am?
Alright, good.
The guy with
Yeah, that was nice. That was cool. I like that. I like that. I like that. Not gonna lie, They hyped that shit up so much. I actually might start Gurren Lagann. That was kind of fire. I might start Gurren Lagann off of that. That was kind of fire. But I kind of feel like they rushed through their final forms too much. Like it got way like him versus the White Lantern came way too quickly. But I understand it because he's gonna whoop Green Lantern's ass unless he's in that form. So I understand that. I thought it was really dope. The animation and the colors they used was really dope. Finding out that Simon was the power itself the whole time, that was fire. That was cool. I like that twist. That was nice. It went how I expected though. I kind of went in this thinking Gurren Lagann would win, just based off of the feats that he has and all the things he did in his verse. Even if the lanterns were gonna pull something out the ass, I didn't think it would be better than what Gurren Lagann had. So that was nice though. I like that. If your will is breakable, Simon is stronger. Simon said the N-word with the ER. Simon is simply outscaled. He wouldn't be able to perceive Kyle to begin with. That is a one shot. There's no lock in. Also, what you just said about wills is a no limit fallacy. You recognize that, right? It didn't matter. If Kyle has breakable will, Simon's spiral energy will overturn his one shot. Spiral energy is outright stated to be entirely focused on willpower. Zestiest Simon I've ever seen. TTGL is mid, but an enjoyable watch, especially in the ending because I was not expecting that. Okay. To be fair, this is the first fully hand-drawn death battle in a long time. Fully hand-drawn isn't cheap to make. Gotcha. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a staple for Dragon Ball Z. Back in the day, if someone transformed first, you knew they were losing 90%. Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's a fact. All right, cool. That was a nice video, though. Thank you for the suggestion. Now, gentlemen, my laptop is about to die. We're on 4%. Damn, I got to charge this. But all right, y'all. Hey, we about to get out of here. Yep, we about to tune in. We about to turn in. Yep, gotta turn in. Good night, folks. Hey, thank you for being here, Michael, Mugetsu, Kai, Red, Chaos. Who am I forgetting? Ronin. Squad. Y'all know. Y'all the squad. Kuribo, squad. Y'all the squad. But we're gonna be back tomorrow. Hopefully we can watch Eon's video about what it means to fight Naruto. If I don't do too much yapping, because y'all will have me talking for fucking hours on end, and it is y'all fault. It's not my fault. It is 100% y'all fault that I talk for this long without watching a video. Mugetsu is absolutely right. We be getting stun locked. But anyways, before this goes on any longer, my computer dies. I'm going to get out of here. As always, this was a fun stream. Same time tomorrow, y'all. Take it easy. We out.